What's up, guys? Welcome to Knockers at the Bottom. I'm your host, J Mill. J Mill, if you like. So let's get the up into it, y'all. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, but what the damn? Because I can't say what I really want. You know what I'm saying? I can't say what I really want. So we're gonna go into the what the damn, as my girl, rest in peace, my girl Kima, high school. She was actually my girl, but like my people's, my homie. My girl Kima used to say, "What the damn." Like, what are the Cowboys doing? There's a lot of people out here. There's a post-game show I'm listening to, and they're over there trying to blame Milesy Smith, and they're over there trying to blame Trayvon Diggs. Dude, this comes down to the defensive coordinator. Yes, I said it. Let that marinate. This comes down to the defensive coordinator. This comes down to the head coach, who I love, but the head coach. And this comes down to the offense for turnovers and not sustaining drives. It comes down to so much more than, let's say, Mozzie Smith. Mozzie Smith is not the guy to blame here. For everybody that wants to place their blame on Mozzie Smith, shame on y'all. That's not what the deal is right now. That's not who the blame goes to right now. That's not what's going on right now, because it wasn't run defense. It wasn't people not playing the run well. That's not what happened. That happened later on in the game after our asses were sufficiently kicked. It was after our asses were in our hands, right? They gonna hand us our ass, right? We was walking out fucking the restroom. Oh, I said the word I wasn't supposed to say it. I promise I won't say it again. We were walking out the restroom with our hands in our ass because the Cowboys got their asses handed to them. That's what the problem is. What's up with this trying to blame people who weren't even in the game enough to be factors or non-factors? That's not what we should be looking at. We saw the game. We watched it. We watched all the different aspects of the game fail, right? We watched bad play calling on defense. We watched not putting people in position to succeed. If you guys are fans of Knockers Out of Bottom, and you're here because you saw what we broke down, right? You saw Donovan Wilson needed to play closer to the line of scrimmage. You saw certain players opening their hips early on passing plays. You saw defenses undisciplined. You saw miscommunication on certain routes, guys thinking that they should go there and other people thinking they should go the same place, which is leaving other people wide open, running free within the secondary. When we get to the film this week, when we go and break down the game film tomorrow or the day after, whichever day it posts up, we're going to see a lot of the same things that we just got finished talking about would be to the detriment of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, if I could see that, right, with just a microphone and, some game film, I ain't nobody. I'm just J Mill if you like. I'm nobody. I'm sitting here watching the game just like you guys. I'm breaking it down. We're sharing the film together. So when I share the film with y'all, you guys get to see maybe something that you didn't pay to subscribe, but you get to see it, right? You get to see what's going on. You get to see who's winning free. I'm sharing it with y'all. We homies, we family. So we chilling. We share the film together. We watching it. We all see the same thing. Oh my God, this is what happened. And then we go to a game and we see the same thing 2 weeks in a row. Now, with next week's game coming on, if we see it again, that becomes a trend. 2 weeks can't necessarily be a trend, but after 3, it becomes a trend. So at what point do we start blaming the architects and not necessarily blaming the pieces of wood, the pieces of steel, the pieces of cement, right? You gotta build it, you gotta design it, you gotta put it in place, right? And then once you do that, it's on the people who have the tools to follow your blueprint, to follow your plan. Now, if those people can't follow your blueprint and follow your plan, what do? There's either two things you do. You either change your blueprint and change your plan, or you hire new people. And at this point, we're into the season, so we can't hire new people. That means we need to change our blueprint. We need to change our plan, right? That's what's going on here. We are in the midst of growing pains. We are in the third game of the season, and people are going to be willing to jump ship. And I'm not saying by jumping ship or not jumping ship, you're right or wrong, right? Because you could jump ship and the Cowboys could go 4-13. And you could be like, see, I told y'all I'm right for jumping ship. They suck. I'm glad I'm not here. Or you could stay, right? And the Cowboys go 7-10, and you're like, damn, I should have jumped ship. You know what I'm saying? When they were sucking it up, when they were horrible, I should have just jumped ship a long time ago. Either way, you might not be wrong, but there's a chance that they could improve and get this thing going. Don't know which way it's gonna go. It's all up in the air. But to blame certain players is laughable at this point. It's laughable because we have a defense full of a lot of the same personnel. Now, if you want to take away our losses this season, Jordan Lewis, he's making plays elsewhere. DeMarcus Lawrence, you know what I'm saying? Eric Kendricks is no longer on the defense as well. Nashawn Wright's been traded. Izzy McQuamu's gone, but he didn't necessarily play much. But we have some players that are gone, right? We have some losses in there. Michael Parsons over at the Green Bay Packers. So you see the Cowboys changing direction by just the sheer percentage of top playmakers that they let go, right? So they're gone. And what I hate is leaning out of that low-hanging fruit, right? Because whenever a game like this goes down, everybody wants to go, oh, if we had Michael Parsons, oh, DeMarcus Lawrence, oh, if we had Jordan Lewis. Well, they're not here. They're gone. It's 3 weeks into the season. These players are not walking through that door. Stop leaning on that. Stop telling me, oh, Jordan Lewis would have made a difference. Well, I'm great. Jordan Lewis, okay, awesome. He would have made a difference. He's not here. Michael Parsons, he would have made a difference. He's not here. DeMarcus Lawrence, he would have made a difference. He's not here. Stop telling me about who would have made a difference, right? That's not breaking down the team that we have right now. That's being lazy. That's being lazy, and that's grabbing that low-hanging fruit. What we need to talk about is the Dallas Cowboys as they're currently constructed. And as they're currently constructed, they need some help. Excuse me. They need some help from their defensive coordinator. They need some help from their offensive play caller. And they need some of the people who are placed on these positions to play better. It's not all about who's not here, because they haven't been here since game one. As a matter of fact, 2 of the 3 haven't been here since March. And 1 of the 3 hasn't been here since 2 weeks before the season, and he wasn't practicing all preseason long. So this is something that you can't give an excuse to personnel for, because these people, whether it's the front office, whether it's the defensive coordinator, whether it's the general manager, who, I mean, we all know who the general manager is, all of these people have had points during the offseason to address, to prepare, to game plan for what they have. I feel personally like Donovan Ezeraku and Marshawn Nealon and Sam Williams are being coached to rush straight down the middle, because a person like Marshawn Nealon, a person like Dante Fowler, that's not their game. They're not a rush straight down the middle type of person. They are an attack the shoulder, dip, bend, use your hands to get hands off you, a separation. So for them to all of a sudden become bull rushing defensive ends, that's coach, bro. That's coach. So if you all of a sudden want to say, hey, we're disappointed because Donovan Ezeraku was not the player he should be within 3 games of his professional career. Three games? Three games? 3? So we're now getting out Donovan Ezeraku because he's not a Hall of Famer out the gate. What are we doing? Who are we talking about? Who are we trying to analyze? What are we trying to do here? Yeah, shots fired. You're being lazy. You're being lazy analyzing the game this way. If you're watching the same game I'm watching, this is not the flashpoint of the wins and losses. It's not Donovan Ezeraku after 3 games. I'm sorry. It's not. It's not. That's not where your frustration should be placed. There's lots of other places to vent your frustration other than Donovan Ezeraku after 3 games. It's not Mozzie Smith's 13 snaps in the run game. That's not where to vent your frustration. If there's frustration to be vented, it starts at the top, which is Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and then it trickles down to the other tops in the organization, i.e., Matt Eberflus and i.e., Schottenheimer. That's where your frustration should be placed. That's where the evaluation of the situation comes down to. And honestly, it boggles my mind that all of a sudden, and I didn't mean to go on this rant in the post game, but that's how I feel. Because I'm watching these other post game shows and they're just really going for low hanging fruit and clickbait and just trying to make sure that they talk about the things that the fans, I guess, want them to talk about. We are here at Knockers on the Bottom to shed light on the real, to shed light on what's really going on and what's really wrong, right? And when we get into the film, as you guys know, I really try to take emotion out of it. I really try to keep myself from going after specific player situations unless it's obvious, unless it's Donovan Wilson, looking at the quarterback last week on some of those deep cover 2 plays that the Giants got. So unless it's something very specific like that, I usually try to just keep it overall. Let's take a look. Let's see who was out of position, where they were out of position, and how it got taken advantage of. Because honestly, we need to look more at coaching than anything. There are several players on this team that have been here for years, and they've been successful at what they're doing. They didn't just wake up today and all of a sudden become bums. So it really gets on my nerves when people decide, hey, we're just gonna all of a sudden use this time to crap on the players and not necessarily hold the coaches accountable, or crap on the coaches and not hold the players accountable. It's a joint partnership. It's one of those things where we are all in it together, right? So if we're all in it together, in order to get it corrected, we need to know. We need to understand. We need to self-reflect and figure out who was wrong, who was right, and where did this communication fall apart. And honestly, the communication fell apart in all areas this game. So give them all a bit of that blame, and don't give any of them that praise. So I can't wait to take a look at this video and see where all these problems came to fruition, and if there were solutions that just weren't executed correctly, or if there were no solutions and they just fell apart from the beginning. I guess we'll get to see. I'm so interested. We'll be back here. We'll be back here tomorrow or the day after, like whatever that shit posts. We'll be up here. We'll figure that out. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. You can follow me on Twitter at JMillerIYL. You can also hit me up at knockersoutthebottom@outlook.com, knockersoutthebottom@gmail.com. Any questions you have, any comments you have, or if you just have something on your mind, leave it below, and we'll get into it. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. It sucks that CeeDee Lamb got injured. But anyway, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, I'm your host, J Mill. J Mill, if you like. This has been Knockers at the Bottom. Peace.